Hey guys, Dr. Dex here. Welcome to another episode of the Dr. Dex podcast. Today I have Mr. Blake Carter from California Deck Pros with us. Blake, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, man. You do some really amazing stuff. Some of your stuff I've seen is, man, I mean, for one, it's comparable to what I'm doing, but even more so as far as complexity, hillsides. We're going to get into all that stuff, man. But before we do, okay, Blake, tell me a little bit about you and about your business, just a synopsis, and then we'll get into the mechanics of it all here in a little bit.
Cool. Yeah, so pretty much born and raised in San Diego. I was actually born in Redondo Beach, lived in LA till I was in the 4th grade, and then my dad works for a big aerospace company, so he got a job out in San Diego. So moved out here to San Diego when I was in 4th grade. I live in northern San Diego, which would be closest to Carlsbad, California, which is like where Legoland and Oceanside and that area.
I spent a little time there.
Yeah. So, I mean, great weather, great people, very active kind of area. Good place to work, real hilly, so great place to build decks. So anyways, I got a brother, sister, mom and dad, great family. I got married when I was 24 and have a wife and 2 kids and one on the way. And
Congratulations.
started my business about, thank you. Started my business about 11 years ago. Started out working for another guy, kind of got started in the industry when I was say 15. I got my first like real job working at Home Depot as like a lot guy, and then from there got into some commercial and custom painting, and then ended up working for a deck builder who was the boyfriend of my sister's really good friend that was living with my parents at the time. So I kind of got over painting because it was just brain dead. Couldn't use my mind. I couldn't use my brain to think about things. So started deck building and then just fell in love with it. Had the natural progression where I kind of just wanted to make more money. Wasn't working out where I was, so I just went out on my own. And then Now we're here 11 years later and we're building a bunch of big, cool projects.
Yeah. Some of your stuff, man, it's like the clientele, to acquire the clientele that will allow you to do what you're doing right now is quite, it's a blessing, and it's quite amazing that you're able to build some of these cliffside builds are just, I don't even know, because I'm not even there. You know, I'm just looking at a phone screen like everybody else in the world, you know? And, but boy, it's very impressive. So let's rewind a little bit. You said, you know, you spent most of your life in San Diego, which is a pretty cool place to live. So what was your grade school, junior high school? What were you into in junior high? You were into sports or academics or music or anything like that?
So I grew up playing basketball and just your baseball, your average sports, soccer. And then I got super into mountain biking when I was about 15, 16 years old.
Okay.
And I competed in semi-pro cross-country mountain biking racing.
Oh, cool.
Ended up getting sponsored by a company out of Big Bear, and did that for a while. And then I found the sport of motocross and got super into that. I wasn't like a great student or anything, B's and C's, you know. I definitely have some ADHD, so I really have trouble focusing on things that I'm not passionate about. So in school, didn't really want to do that. Just want to do fun things, you know. I really did like science in school. My dad he has a master's in physics, and then he is a software engineer for unmanned drones and does a lot in that industry. Cool. So he's super, super smart. And I think I got my mom's smarts, not my dad's, but, he's also my dad growing up. I mean, we were pretty poor growing up, and he would always fix things on his own. So, there was always saws and tools and working on cars, and everything we did was on our own because we didn't have any money. We didn't have money till well, he didn't have any money till later in life. But he lives in a normal house and still working now. So I ended up not liking school, so I actually started going to a school where you do packets from home.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember one day sitting in school, just like, man, I'm wasting my time here. There's a bunch of kids here that are just getting punished all the time because I was in all the classes with the bad kids, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up graduating early, doing a charter school where you do packets from home, and I would get these packets done in about a day. And then I would just take my truck and drive to the motocross track or drive to the desert. And that was my thing. I just raced and rode motorcycles. And San Diego and Temecula, Riverside area is like the mecca for motocross and freestyle motocross. So that was my jam growing up. I really loved doing that. And then obviously we have the ocean here. I never really got super into surfing, but I really like wakeboarding and jet skis and boats and fishing and hunting. And I'm an outdoorsman when it comes down to it.
Okay, that's cool. That's
So,
really cool. So, okay, so you're into motocross. You were sponsored for a while with mountain biking, which I don't know if a lot of people. I mean, most people could ride a mountain bike, but they can't race a mountain bike. There's a big difference. Is that us?
no,
Or is that a saw going off in the background?
I'm on a job site.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, so are we. So
Yeah.
that's what makes our podcast cool, man.
Yeah.
That we can do this. So when you finished your mountain biking, were you picked up the motorcycle and said, "Hey, I think this is my next angle." Did you completely give up mountain biking at that point, or did you just put it to the side, or what'd you do?
Kind of put it to the side, but I think I got lazy. I mean, it is an unknown thing, though, that in terms of sports that are the most endurance based, soccer's number one and motocross is number two.
Yeah, it's an exhausting sport, man. Those guys, you don't see any fat motocross, professional motocross riders, man. They are fit. They are really fit and probably sore as heck too, because not only are they, you gotta manhandle that motorcycle, but you gotta be able to take some abuse.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, luckily I was fortunate enough to not have any major industry or injuries, but I think I got injured the most playing basketball versus any sport. But no, I just fell in love with the adrenaline of it. All my friends did it, and then we have all the deserts by us. We have Glamis, some of the biggest sand dunes about an hour away from us. We have
cool.
Ocotillo Wells, which is just wide open desert. So I really fell in love with going fast and jumping and doing all those things.
What was your jam as far as riding?
In terms of what
a motorcycle? What kind of bike was it that you like to ride?
I started out on a CRF 250.
That's a Honda.
Yeah, and then I got into the 450s, and then I recently got into adventure bike riding. So you have a big giant bike, and you can put all your bags and stuff on it. So
Sure.
that's a 700 Yamaha, but I've had quite a few 250s and 450 four strokes, and
Yeah.
really like those. So
You ever ride one of those RMs back in the day, man? Those like RM 125s or
actually, yeah, my first bike ever, the first one ever bike was a real piece of crap. Got more saws again, but
That's all right.
it was a RM 250 two stroke.
Nice.
And this thing was like a 1980, and I'm talking, this is like maybe 2009 when this is going on. So I just had this old bike that I had to work on because didn't have enough money to get a nice one, and I got that thing running, and it ripped. It was fast.
Yeah, those were ripper bikes. I used to have an old Bull Taco.
Really?
It was a trials bike, yeah. And one piston, torquey as heck, could hardly get it started. You had to get onto the left side of the bike to start it, and and it was always breaking down. But I've always thought dirt bikes were cool and always had fun with them when I was growing up. I had a little Suzuki 80 for a while as well when I was in grade school. But it's a passion, and it's something that I translated to the street with it where I have mostly street bikes now. I don't have a whole lot of dirt bikes, but um, that's awesome, man. So do you ride it all today? You said you have a trials bike or a enduro?
But yeah, I got an adventure bike, so it's on road, off road.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually just sold it because I'm have a lot going on right now. But um, that was a Tenere 700 Yamaha, and it's on road, off road.
Mm-hmm.
Big, heavy bike with a windscreen, and it was really nice. So I
Ooh,
had a digital dash, and you could rip the hills with it, but you could also go 109 on the street. So
sweet.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
I
lot of
had an
fun.
enduro for a while too. It was like a Honda 150 or something like that. It was a cool bike.
Yeah, I
Uh,
live up in the hills now, so we used to have a little track at my property. We're building a couple houses there, so the track's no longer there, but we plan on putting another one in. But I have a little 110 that I put my kids on, and we rip around the neighborhood on it. So
that's cool.
it's a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
that is fun. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so this these packets of information that you'd fill out for school, did that get you to a GED equivalent or something like that, as far as like a graduation of high school, or what was your did you go on to college at all or anything like that?
Yeah, so I graduated from high school, and then I was just trying to figure out what I want to do. I always like backing up when I was younger, I always had little side companies. Like I had a few neighbors that I mowed their lawns and I like would take out their trash cans, and then I'd always have little odd jobs when I was younger, like building fences for people and doing things around the house with my dad. Like I knew I wanted to own my own company. I don't really do too well with people telling me what to do, so I knew that I needed to be my own boss. So just figuring that out, and then I also didn't want to have a cap on whatever I did. So I wanted to see direct accomplishments based on how hard I put in, what the effort I put into something.
Cool.
So I went to college for a little bit, for maybe a couple semesters, to be a cop. Actually, I wanted to be some sort of like sheriff or detective or something. So I went to school for that, and then quickly realized I didn't want to do that because I would be capped out. It would be a nice retirement, but so I have a lot of friends that are in that industry now. One of my best friends, actually, I went to school with him, and he's now a SWAT officer. Um, but I do really like guns, and so shortly after that, I couldn't really figure out what I want to do, so I ended up joining the army
Hmm.
for infantry. So I was in Fort Benning for a while. Went to basic, was on my way to ranger school, and I've always had issues with my ear growing up, like blown eardrums and just chronic ear problems. So I kind of lied about those on my test to get into the army. But once I was there, they retest you every time. So before you go to ranger school, you have to take a test for your hearing. And they quickly found that I was pretty much deaf. So in my right ear, I'm almost deaf.
Hmm.
So
Brutal.
yeah, so I got home from the army, and then I was
Now,
previous.
how old were you when you started the army?
I think I was 19,
Okay, and how long were you
so
in for?
about a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got a medical discharge, and then I was painting, doing high end custom paintings like lacquer finish on cabinetry and real high end homes here locally. Working for a family friend before I left to the army. So, and I was doing that throughout college. So when I came back, I actually went back into that. And then I kind of phased out of that to working for a big commercial painter that does a lot of like military work. Um, Ended up painting like all the Target remodels around town. And
Hmm.
I think at that point I was like 19 or like maybe 20. And the guy I was working for would hire ex felons, and at 20 I had maybe six guys everywhere from like 36 to 50 years old that I was managing, and I was the night foreman. So I would manage these guys, make sure they had everything on the job, and we are running like big large scale commercial projects for them. So at that point I kind of got burnt out of doing that, and then came upon the deck builder that was dating my sister's friend. Now they're married, so I went and worked for him. His I worked for him for about 3.5 years. And how we had it structured was he would send me a lead, and then I would go and meet that lead, sell the job, do the job. He provided a truck and the financials to go and do these projects. And we were doing about a job a week at that point. And I think I got booked out a year. And I was like 6 months booked out, and I kind of was being promised things that weren't happening. So I said, you know what? I have enough side work. I think I can do this on my own, because I kind of already was. So at that point, I was renting a basement with my fiance, who's now my wife, from some lady. And I told my boss then, I said, you know what? I'm going to finish these 6 months of jobs I have booked out for you, and then I'm going to go out on my own. And then he said, why don't you just leave now? And you can just go out on your own. So I had a really big side job going at the time. So I said, you know what? I can do this. So I actually went to Lake Powell on a big vacation, got back, and then hit it pretty hard. And I remember at that point, like, we made a website, and I remember getting my first lead. And I'm like, awesome. I got a lead from my website. This is the best thing ever. And then I'm like, if I can just get one lead a month, I can do this. I can stay pretty busy, So, I mean, my dad, growing up, he made us work for everything we had. So, he paid for my sister and brother to go to college and school. So I remember I was having trouble making rent at the time, and I asked him to borrow $1,200 just so I could pay my rent and keep going, because I just bought a work truck with a lumber rack so I could bring my own materials to the job, So he helped me that one time, and I've never had to ask him for money or anything again.
Nice.
So,
man, that's a great story. That's a great story, because I did the same thing with my grandfather when I first started my business. I borrowed $1,600 to get licensed and bonded and insured. And the first thing I did is when I made that money is I paid him back. Because so many times in life, you'll lend somebody money and you never see that money ever again. Yeah,
that's a rule I live by. If you're letting anyone that's family or friends borrow money, don't expect it back.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Hey, first thing, guys, if you're listening to this podcast and you're hearing it from both people on the end of the podcast, from both of us, okay, I agree 1,000% with Blake on this. If you are loaning money to friends and family, consider it a gift.
Exactly.
Unless you get collateral. If you get collateral, like a gun or something of value, either that you can keep or sell, then that's good on you. There's been several times where I wish I would have, and there's been a couple times where I've kept the collateral, and but that's just words of wisdom, and it's so true. It's kind of funny. Money makes certain people really weird, and some people don't know how to manage it, or they live above their means, or whatever their problem is, why they can't justify it. So the Bank of Russell's now closed.
No, that's good stuff. Absolutely. Don't expect that money back. Consider it gone.
Yeah, and if it comes back, man, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's a blessing. But, if you're doing it with good purpose and good intent, and you're helping somebody out really in a pinch, then, it makes you a better person as well. So you can't
what comes around goes around,
Yes, sir. Man, it is raining like crazy. It's been so beautiful here, and now it's just coming down. Anyway, so you're just, and how old are you now? You just started, and did you call it California Deck Pros from the get-go?
Yeah, I call it California Deck Pros. So the previous company, they had pro and the word deck in their name. Mm-hmm. And then that guy's brother, and they probably don't know this, but hopefully they listen to this so they can finally find out. That guy's brother was a designer, and he was working for a company called California Smartscape. So I was like, what can I name this that lets me grow it? And then also as a little knife jab to those guys, So I did California Deck Pros, because I'm like, eventually we can just take over the state, get it super big, and have this giant company,
That's awesome. So when you first started, was it just you, or did you immediately hire somebody to come in and help you, or with the labor part of it, or?
So I had some really good side jobs I was doing that were pretty big custom jobs. Mm-hmm. And I learned a lot from some of those jobs because one of them was for a guy that worked for Hawthorne Cat, which is Caterpillar,
Okay.
and he was a mechanical engineer. But I remember he was complaining about things, and I'm pretty detailed that I'm like one thing, for instance, was there's an Ipe deck, and he's like, my wife can't wear stilettos on the deck. What's the solution to this? And I'm like, don't wear stilettos on the deck, you know?
Right.
So, but then I was like, I need to change the way I think. So I'm like, things that are realistic that he's complaining about, if I just did them, then that's going to make me better than my competitors because I'm more detailed. So I took that mindset and I just started thinking that way for every single project. But to answer your question, I had those jobs, and then with the previous company, he actually got fired for a huge HOA. It was like when Trex used to make their 2x6 and 2x4s, true 2x composites, and their composite pickets. It was replacing all the railings for about 48 buildings,
Okay.
and there's 8 units on each building. So it was this huge project, and all the materials were purchased already from the previous contractor, but the customer paid for them. So she approached me. I had a good relationship with her because I was a project manager, and she got wind that I was starting my own company. So she reached out to me, and I took over that one. But that was actually my second job. My first job ever was for a retirement community, and it was replacing like 400 awnings over windows that were all
Oh my
like 4x
goodness.
and 2x6,
Uh-huh.
and then replacing a few pergolas. Because at the beginning, when I started the company, we only did decks, railings, and patio covers. We didn't do any concrete work or pools or hardscaping or any of that stuff. So that all came later on. So,
So
but
you've scaled your company. How many employees do you have right now?
well, that's the thing. Everyone thinks we're super big, even the clients I go out and meet. But at one point, I had 18 employees, and I started my company when I was 25. So this is about
Mm.
so when I first started, I had a guy working for me that quit the other company that we were both working at. So he came and worked with me, and I hired another guy from Massachusetts that was a finish carpenter,
Hmm.
and we all worked together for a few years. It's pretty funny because that original guy I hired, I fired him because he had small man syndrome, and I was like dealing with my wife every day. But he actually is the mayor of the town next to me now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I remember he would listen to Rush Limbaugh and all this conservative stuff every day, and I always just thought the world was ending because we were listening to that every day, you know?
That's
Um,
hilarious.
yeah, so
He finally hit his stride, but it wasn't building decks.
yeah, he was like the head of the school politically, and then became the mayor. So he's the active mayor in Escondido, California now.
All right.
So
Well, see, you turned him into a law-abiding citizen.
yeah, so from there, I mean, we picked up some traction, and I mean, we didn't advertise or anything, and everything was word of mouth. So we started building relationships with some builders that do some high end work, and we were a sub, and then just word of mouth. We got in with all the lumber yards in our area, and they would refer us. So we'd get a ton of work from them in the beginning. We don't get any work from them now. Um,
Right.
but
I find that to be the same. Like I used to work for a lot of hot tub companies when I was younger and hungrier.
yeah,
And I didn't realize what my value was, and I would do stuff for too little. But as you develop your worth and your brand, and you realize, hey, I'm not doing this for any less than this. Period. I don't need to. Those companies, they find somebody else that's hungrier, and not as well tuned as you are, and that's fine. Those things turn. Those things turn on. You have probably more business than you know what to do with anyway. So. You have a good reputation. You build some of the most amazing stuff. Not everybody wants to take on a build that Blake Carter does.
yeah, we find that, and I mean that's kind of our niche is hard stuff that no one else wants to do.
Right.
Um,
Like those hillsides, man. Are you at that same project right now?
we got to go back. Yeah, so we started a big job about 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and we just finished pretty much everything. There's a phase two that comes in October, but they actually just bought the next door neighbor's house, so we'll
What?
have a whole job just like that one right next door.
Oh my
But yeah, I
goodness.
mean it's pretty much done. We got to go throw in a couple gates next week, and there's an
Do you think
underground.
do you think that's just luck that you stumble upon these clients that are well to do, and then, oh yeah, we just bought the house next door. We want you to do the same exact thing you did here. They already know how much it costs, and
Yeah.
and you already got it sold. It's like, it's almost like you're printing your own money.
Yeah, it was funny because I
But
use ChatGPT.
except for permitting.
Yeah, exactly. I use ChatGPT for like responding to people a lot because I can respond in a way that to me I think's fine, but it's probably not the nicest way to respond to certain people.
Okay.
So I responded to that customer there with ChatGPT, and she's like, I didn't proofread it beforehand, and it made it sound like um, once they buy the new house, that we'll do the job for them then and that the job we're working on now is over. And she's like, we're not done with you. You're family now. So, I mean, truly, when you're on a job for 2 years, you really become
Yeah.
family, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. 2 years, dude. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah.
You probably have a key to the house.
Yeah, we put all their Amazon packages in their garage, and
Wow, good on you.
we meet with other clients. And one thing we just started is we're offering everyone maintenance packages now because their job's so large and they want this such a high level of detail, and they want to prolong the life of everything we put in. So they want us to come once a month and do a full pressure wash clean on all the barbecues, the appliances, the whole deck. And also, if we see anything that needs fixed to be fixed, they want us to fix it and then just send them a bill. So, I mean, we'll be there forever, basically.
You could have a whole crew just doing that kind of work.
Yeah, which I mean, there's not too much money in that work, but I mean, it doesn't really take the highest level of skill to clean a deck. So,
No,
we can,
especially once you're good at it.
Yeah.
I used to do 30 a season until I didn't have to. You know.
Yeah.
So what are you sitting behind? Is that an ePay feature wall?
So this is AUS actually. It's
iOS,
thermally
yeah.
modified, and
Yep.
it's not Maximo. It's a different brand, but it's a TNG product that interlocks and then gives you this pattern here.
Hmm.
And then
Cool.
there's a Kumaru deck on a sealed surface that we just did. So this home we're at now, it's going to be a masterpiece as well. There's a lot of hardscape here. There's really only a few decks, but this was a famous architect. His name's Ken Kellogg that built this house. He's now passed on, but the woman we're working for, she's really high in the art community, and she purchased this home, restored it, and then she found artists for every aspect, like all the lighting. She has these door handles inside her house. Get this. They found the original builder. He's still alive. And they cast his hand in bronze, like you held a piece of Play-Doh, right? And the imprint inside your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So she cast two in her hand and one in his hand. And that leads you out to a yoga deck we're building outside.
Cool.
So
you got to have that. That's really important, man.
Gotta
Awesome.
have that.
Gotta
I just think those little details are the coolest thing ever.
I want a deck for my Lamborghini. You know, someday.
We could build you one.
Yeah, someday. That would be sweet. Okay, so I'm gonna get into some mechanics here. I think we got the history. Okay, so you were 25 when you started. How long have you been in business?
11 years now.
Okay, so you're 36 years old.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so you started pretty hot and heavy, but then you've just been blasting, bro. You've done some public arenas, like public areas, parks and schools and commercial stuff. And the rules, though, in California, I know they're strict. And just the seismic stuff you guys got to deal with, man. And you're on a hill. Like, you're digging 6 foot deep, full rebar round cages and big old holes and things like that. I don't know if a lot of people understand, like, especially when you're on coastal. And then the permitting for coastal, bro, what's that like? Let's start there. Let's start right there.
Yeah, so there's something called the Coastal Commission. So you have the city, and the city takes your plans, approves them, and that's a process. So a deck here, I have one right now. It's any hillside deck. You're about best case scenario 9 months to a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So they send that. It's one phase of the permit process to the Coastal Commission, and then they need to sign off on it, and that can take up to 2 years to get approval sometimes.
So how do you deal with that with a client? Say, okay, your deck's $450,000, but that was 2 years ago. So now it's $600,000. I mean, does that phase anybody there? Like they're like, oh, okay, or it's like, wait a minute, I didn't agree to this, or
Yeah,
what do you tell them?
lately with the high end stuff, I really try to prep people on an estimate is that, it's an estimate. It's not the cost of something. And I think that's a big area where a lot of contractors fail.
Mm-hmm.
So give them budgetary numbers, and then we have a line item that's basically unforeseen change. Well, the market is an unforeseen change.
Mm-hmm.
I have attorneys that I work with now that have written my contracts, and we send all our like we're about to start a big resort in Moab, Utah, actually.
Really?
So the contracts like that, there's such a high number that you need to send all that to attorneys
How
to
did you
go
land
through.
a job in Moab?
So the guy that owns this company, there's a really big company that he worked for. They're the largest apartment owner in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And he ran all their construction for a long time. And then he started a company called URC West that they're in Washington, Oregon, Utah, Idaho, Colorado, New Mexico, California, but they're based
Mm-hmm.
locally here.
Mm-hmm.
So they brought me on for this job. I bid the job I'm on now in 2023. So it's like it's kind of good. It's actually kind of good for job security because
Heck yeah, it is.
you've locked in jobs. When you
So,
send the bid.
so what's your team size right now? Do you run one crew, two crews?
So I run one crew. We can break into two. So I have four guys, and then I have a girl in the office.
Mm-hmm.
And then my best friend is a concrete contractor.
Okay.
So his crew and my crew, it's almost one and the same. So when I'm not here, like we can manage them, they can manage us, and we can really do portions of their job that we're capable of doing, and then just have them come in and pour the concrete and finish it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good integration. So we probably give that guy like 90% of the work he does.
Wow.
Um, but he's one of my best friends, and it's like hanging out with all your buddies. But yeah, everyone thinks we have this giant crew. So we sub our landscaping out. I have a few guys that used to work for me that they have their own companies now. So like one of them is going to do some smaller jobs for us that we have. And they're just subcontractors.
Mm-hmm.
But all our big stuff, I try to not overextend myself. So I'll only do 1 to 2 projects at a time.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So, but
That's
having an
awesome.
office girl is really nice because she handles all the billing, all the payroll, just all that stuff. She gives our clients like we have a system for bidding where people submit a video of their project, and we give them an estimate via text, just a budgetary number. So we get the video in and we look at it, and I've trained her where she can actually give these people a budget number, so we're not wasting time going out there. And then I or one of my project managers, Slane, will we meet with people one day a week. So we just try to find one day and get them all in there, and then kind of go from there.
Cool.
So
I see. You said today you're on a job site. Do you spend a lot of time on site with your guys?
yeah, I do. I hate being in an office. So me and my iPad are my best friend. We're best friends, So
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to get my hands dirty and help him do things, and I probably do that more than I should, but I really enjoy it. So, I really like metalwork, and I like woodwork, and so I'll step in, kind of do the things I like doing, and then my guys, they can just do all the stuff I don't like doing.
Hey, that's the perfect balance, bro. Because
Yeah.
you can get out, get some vitamin D, and keep cranking, and then go from there. So
Yeah.
awesome. All right. So let's see here. You've told us about and we're not gonna talk about numbers right now or any more about values. If we do, we'll talk about that in our bonus episode coming up for our Patreon channel. Yes, I did explain that to you, correct?
Yeah, you explained it to me, and then I actually was talking to Dave Frazier about him doing it. So I got a little background from
Okay,
Dave.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting because that was in the back of my head when you were talking about San Diego, and we just had Dave Frazier on a few episodes ago, and you guys probably are friendly competition.
Oh yeah, definitely. He actually reached out to me yesterday, and there was a job that was a little risky, and he wasn't sure about permitting and whatnot. So he asked me if I was interested. So yeah, we're super friendly. We bid against each other every now and then, but you know what? There's so much work out there. He has a lot of jobs that he posts, and I never even bid him. So, um, but lately there's a lot of competitors, but I don't think any of the competitors are doing jobs at a scale that myself and maybe Dave are doing.
No,
So
it's very, yeah, for people to try and take on that type of caliber of work. Not only are you knocking it out of the park, but you're doing it in a out of a scale of 1 to 10, you're working on a 10 as far as
yeah,
complexity, and that just takes time. It takes time to do that. Like you said, we've been here 2 years. I'm wrapping up be almost 6-month project before we're done, and I feel like, hey, I'm ready to move on. But
yeah.
you can't really have that attitude when you're working for clients like that. You just stay and do everything they ask, and then that next person's going to wait until you're done.
And we've always had I train my guys when they first start working for me that if you're on a job site and you mess a board up, throw the board away and just buy a new board. And basically, what I'm telling them is to do it the right way. Don't try to like do things. But what that comes into is on a large project, it's like if you're on a large project and you're getting paid for everything you're doing and you're making money, then you have no problem being there for a long time.
Right.
But it's when you don't bid it right and you're not getting paid and you have no more money left and you spent all the money, then you get screwed, which we can get more into that later. But
yeah, let's.
Yeah.
Let's. Yeah, that sounds good. That's something I'd like to talk to you about, because I can definitely relate on these larger projects. It seems like you think you got it covered, but there's always this stuff that creeps in on the backside, and you kind of end up, oh man, am I going to be all right? Or like you said, it goes way over, and you're, what am I going to do? I got to finish this job. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
I have a firm
Or maybe the
target
client's
date.
not cool that you're working for too. You never know. I mean,
Yeah.
luckily, you're probably in a position like I am where if someone's not cool, I don't work for them. Like I give them a number so high that they don't like it.
Exactly. Yep. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So how, are you booked out a couple years right now?
We're booked out the rest of this year, so like into 2026, and then I have some in permits that I don't know when they're going to get approved. So once they get approved, then they become next in line. And that's what I tell people. I say, I can't tell you a start date until it gets approved. And once it gets approved, like you'll have priority in the line. But if we have a job going, then I'm not going to start yours at the same time. We'll start yours next once we finish, So sometimes that can be difficult when those get approved if you're super busy and you got to fit them in. But I only do 2 jobs at once. That's all I can handle. That's all I want to do. And I've been there where I've stretched it out, and then your quality goes down. And we're a high quality company, and we can't sacrifice anything on quality.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. So okay. So what's your percentage of hardwood versus synthetics?
We do a lot of hardwood here. It's pretty popular, but I think we probably do 75% synthetic material, and we do the rest hardwood, so 25 hardwood. We started out using Trex like everybody else, and then we went to AZEK, and our main thing now is decorators. I'm really happy with their product, and I use a lot of it.
Do you think there's going to be, from what you've noticed so far, and because of the Kiki just took me to Malibu for my birthday for the weekend a few weeks ago, and they had just opened up the Pacific Coast Highway on the day we showed up. So I wanted to drive down it just to see, well, some people the devastation. I was just curious, what it looked like, what was really going on, and it was heart-wrenching. Like, we only went a quarter mile and we turned around and went back because it was just sandy beach and foundations, and then there'd be like a stucco house or a rock house or a concrete house with a metal roof that was just looked like it was just built, you know, and then you look up on the hillside and everything's just condemned, and it was really sad. So Do you see some kind of a trend with how you're going to build your decks or what you're building them out of for in the future for deck building in California and where you live?
Yeah, so San Diego actually had some of the worst wildfires. I mean, we've had a few of them, and we get them every year. But the city of San Diego and the county of San Diego are so good at preventing fires now. If you see smoke pop up, you're going to see planes over your head in 20 minutes just attacking this thing because they're just like very well equipped to put them out now. But we've always had strict fire rules. I think they're only getting stricter, but I mean, anything here, I mean, basically everywhere is a fire zone. Some people are like, am I in a fire zone? I'm like, yes, like the whole, everywhere is a fire zone. So they, I mean, they want Class A fire rated decking, and they also want steel frame or big timber. So you're 8 by post, 8 by beams, 4 by joist. You know,
Is that so it'll burn longer, so before it collapses, or what's the theory on 8-inch anything?
theory is all fire rating is gaining time to save life.
Okay,
So
well,
it is going to combust fully. It's going to take longer for it to combust because it's a big timber versus it being something tiny.
and it's going to
So
take longer
all
to
those
burn.
decks,
So
yeah. So all those decks have to have skirts. There's rules about how close you can be to the neighbors. It really depends on the area. There's also like landscaping plans that need to be submitted, so you can't have combustible. Certain plants are approved within a radius around your deck off of a hillside. And
oh.
you have to give a schedule of what plants are currently there as well, because you don't want to kill the bird that's living in that bush. You know?
Yeah, and just so you know, that costs extra money. You have to hire a professional to spec those plants out a lot of the time. You can't just, like, I'm not a botanical dude. Like, I can't say, oh, yeah, we need some special evergreens over here and some rhododendrons over there. You know, you got to have somebody that has a degree in it. Because I've had to do this as well on some lakefront stuff that we've done where you're getting a permit, but they want a full landscape plan of all the plants and trees and stuff that you're going to plant after the deck's built.
Yeah, exactly. Everything costs money, you know. So
That's
not
crazy.
only that, they've been making us hire what are they called? Basically like an archaeologist to come when we're digging footings, so that there isn't any signs of bones when we're digging, because
No kidding.
find Native American bones.
Okay, wait, back up. So you have to hire an archaeologist?
No, the city has an archaeologist
Oh,
that
the
works
city
for them,
does.
but it's yeah. So you have to. It's in your permit fee, but they need to come to your job before and after to make sure that there isn't any artifacts in where you're digging.
What if
There's
there
some
is?
areas, and you actually have to hire a shaman that's from the Indian tribe to come sit on your job site.
Okay,
Yeah,
and he's gonna do. Is he handing out the ayahuasca? Or
probably. The secret with that though is you just dig up a big pile of dirt and you tell your guys when he's there, move it from point A to point B, and then tell him you're done, and then he will leave, and then you can go and dig where you actually need to dig.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that's hilarious. Well,
Yeah.
hey, you just learned something. You know, if you're in California and you got a dirt guy or somebody there, man, there's this. Everybody's so sensitive nowadays about everything. It just makes it harder for us to earn a living.
Oh yeah, everything makes it harder. I mean, here we have some of the strictest laws, and in terms of insurances and bonds we have to have, and permits, and I mean, it really makes me not want to do any of it, honestly, because it's all the red tape just makes things so difficult.
Amen, brother. You got a witness right here. I hear what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
permitting sucks, and and this is just my 2 cents, but as the younger generations are coming into the building department, they're making it much more difficult for us to get a permit. The older people that you used to know and talk to on a first name basis, they're all gone. They're retired or whatever. And now it's like it takes 2 to 3 times longer to get the same permit that you got 20 years ago.
Yeah, I used to do all the permitting myself, and I would get no work done because I was always down at the city offices. So
Yeah.
I've just priced it in my jobs, and we hire architects and engineers to go and handle that for us. And you just
Attaboy.
call them to check in every now and then, and they call you when it's done, and that's what we found works. You know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Right on.
I have a funny story about you
Yeah.
though. So
Oh,
when I first separated from my boss, I was actually kind of working for him. It was when Instagram first like got up. I don't even think I think I only used Instagram to like edit my photos. I didn't know about posting or anything, right? um, but I found your page and saw the board bending, and I was just like blown away. And I think I've told you the story before, but it's cool for everyone else to know. So I messaged you on there, and then I think we were probably both learning how to use Instagram, but you had all your curved decks on there. It was the first time I ever saw something like that. So I went on your website and I filled out a form, which I'm sure at the time, I don't think anyone else was board bending, but now everybody's doing it, right?
right.
So I went on your website and I messaged you and I was like, I will come to Washington and I will work for free. Show me how to do this, you know? And I think Kiki may have messaged me back or something, but nothing ever came of it. But I mean, you were definitely a big inspiration for me when I first started in terms of it's not only the board bending, but also making your gap on your cuts around your bend and making your breaker board gaps perfectly spaced. So when you're looking at it, you have room for expansion and contraction, and just like beautiful layout. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome, man. That makes me feel good. We never accept anybody's free labor because our insurance policy, our agents like, don't do it. No, we won't cover this, you know? And you could come in and say, well, I'll carry my own insurance. But technically, if you get hurt on my job site, then it's my responsibility.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
I'm the one that's liable.
Lost. You're lost. You could have had me as
totally.
an employee.
oh, man. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah.
No, you would have spent 1 week in this weather and said, dude, I'm leaving. I don't care how much I didn't learn. I'm out of here. I
come out to Astoria and go sturgeon fishing every now and then. And yeah.
I'd be better off coming to you and teaching you and your guys there than you coming here, you know?
Yeah.
But hindsight, brother. I mean, now you got the goods. You already know. So
now we know. I mean, I've like you and Dave talked about. We've burned our share of boards. You know, we do a lot of modern stuff. So I mean, you can see there's some curves and stuff here, but a lot of our stuff's straight line now. We'll break out the board benders when we need to. I think I lent them to a guy in a contractor in LA that I work with a lot. So he actually has them now, and he's going to be doing a lot of that work that you mentioned up the coast, because they're going to have one hell of a time finding contractors. But I do know that the city's helping them get their permits quickly. I know a lot of guys that have already poured foundations and they're framing. So
okay, yeah, that's So you, how far away are you from all that?
I'm about an hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, an hour and a half south. So I'm in Encinitas right now, and that's where probably 80% of my work comes from. And that's where like Tony Hawk and all these big skateboarder guys live. Cool. A lot of pro surfers live here as well. But we're maybe 45 minutes from the border at Mexico right now.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah. Okay, so you recently built a house, right? Or have you finished doing that?
It's a slow process, but yeah. So I built a 1,200 square foot house that we live in. I built that back in 2020. In 2017, I bought an acre and a half of land, and then we're building a huge 5,000 square foot house right now.
Okay, so you're still in construction on that.
Yeah, like now it's just finishing the inside. So I mean, we have stucco, steel metal roof, smooth finish stucco, some cool siding features. There's a 40 by 16 foot sealed deck on the back. I haven't decided what I'm gonna put on top of it yet.
That's it.
But that's it, right? The ACs, the air conditioning, HVAC's all in, electrical's in, plumbing's in. So I just need to get a few more big jobs and just chip away. I'm trying to not have a mortgage, so it's a slow process, and the small house is getting tight with all these kids that I'm making, but it'll pay off in the end.
Well, you know, by the time they're 18, then they're out, and then it'll just be 5,000 square feet for you and your wife, right?
Yeah, and then we can just sell it and make some money, or she gets the top floor when she gets sick of me, and I get the downstairs and the man cave.
There you go.
You know?
Hey.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Okay.
Yeah.
And how far away are you working from there?
So I live about 45 minutes inland. So I live like 45 minutes from the beach, and I'm 30 minutes to the mountains where there's snow. And there's just big, giant rolling hills all around me, and we're kind of in the country, so we can have like, I have chickens now. That's all I have now, but I've had cows and sheep and pigs, and we harvest our own animals and have a garden,
Oh, wow.
and eat our own stuff. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's cool. That's
yeah,
really cool.
it's really fun. Not for the faint of heart. It's a lot of work, but
Oh, I bet.
now that we have kids, we just have the chickens, and they give us eggs, so that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
So
Right on. So Blake, this is the time in our podcast, like that. If there's anything that you want to say in particular, any stories you want to share, anything else you want to broadcast, we kind of give you an open forum, for whatever time you want to spend on that.
okay, shoot. I mean, I've been on this big job for a while, so I guess I want to talk about that because we put so much
Sure.
into it. So we started that 2 years ago. We did the whole front yard with porcelain pavers and built a cool patio on it, and then we moved to the backyard and we did a bunch of board form concrete. Is that popular where you guys are?
What's that?
Board form concrete.
What is?
So you
explain.
form out concrete walls with just like 2x6 or 2x8, but when you take your forms off, it looks like
Oh yeah,
you can
yeah.
see the grain in the wood.
Yeah, I've seen some of that around. Yeah, not a ton, not a
Yes.
ton, but yeah, it's I've definitely seen it.
So it's super popular here. So we have a bunch of that, and there's an underground surf room, and
Explain that. What's an
sauna,
underground surf? What's an
cold
underground surf
plunge.
room? What's an underground surf room?
So
I
we
need
built
to
a
know.
deck. We built a deck off the back of the house, and it's the first OC lumber deck in California.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to get a truck over here, and by the coast, I think it's a great product. It is damn heavy though.
Yeah, it is.
So we built this deck off the house, but the grade drops. It's so steep
Mm-hmm.
that we basically cut and filled an area underneath the deck. So there's a big room underneath the deck that's finished with porcelain tile. We put a bunch of really nice polywood cabinets that we had custom CNC milled with recessed LED lighting, and then we built custom surf racks that hang off of an Ipe wall that hold all this guy's surfboards because he's a big surfer.
Cool.
And we have a shower in there. I mean, there's a dehumidifier so we can kind of keep the moisture out of the air. It's pretty elaborate. Big barn door. It's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So, and then I sent you a picture the other week, and then we built those 300 steps down to the ocean.
Man,
So,
that's insane. So how are you anchoring the staircase into the hillside?
so we dug down and we poured these giant footings with a bunch of number 5 rebar in them. Huge rebar cages. We went down about 8 feet, and then we went across this canyon that actually we had to, like, one of the only hurricanes that's ever happened in Southern California. When I was doing this job and I was in IBS, and the customer, let me back up. They have a sewage line that's the only drainage for the block. It's the first one on the block, and all the street water goes into our drain and goes through their property. So we replaced that. It's a big 8-inch line, and I had a flex 8-inch line on it, and we screwed it to the pipe. Well, when I was at IBS on my way home, it was raining really bad, and that pipe broke off, and the homeowner texts me, and she says, "Hey, is this okay? It looks like it could be a problem for you." And this pipe is launching water out about 35 feet out.
Oh my goodness.
And it just like caved in this hillside, so that it cut like a 10-foot drop into the hillside. So
Oh no.
we ended up digging it up, pouring a bunch of giant footings across this canyon, and just stacking rebar upon rebar and tying it back together. And called an engineering buddy of mine and said, "Hey, like, what can I do to get this thing under control?" So that sits on that, and then the surf room we built had a giant footing on it. So I stubbed some number 8s rebar and looped them back into the footing. And then I went and bought a winch from Harbor Freight. I bolted that to the footing, and then we took my mini excavator and we drove it down this hill on a winch. And it's probably the first time in my life I was ever afraid that someone was going to die on one of my job sites. So, but we put a bunch of helicals in to reinforce our walls that we put in. And I have a few that go down like 65 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, some of them wouldn't torque out till 65 feet. So
wow, how much PSI were you guys pulling on those?
Oh, we were maxed out. Yeah, we were maxed out. Yeah, I called Max from Masscore.
Oh yeah,
right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so I call him and he's like, I'm just like, we're maxed out on these things, and but I don't know. He helps me out a lot, so he really helped out with that job, giving us what we needed.
Great guy. Give Max a look if you guys are looking at helical piles at all. Max is he's on my list. He's on my long list of guests for the show.
Oh, he would be a great guy to talk about business with. He's been through some stuff with business, and he also does a lot of steel fabrication, which I don't think people would really know.
Yeah, no, great guy. I've had a great relationship with him, and like to get him doing better, but he's kind of long ways away from us.
Yeah, he is a long ways away.
So
anyways, that job was a monster, but yeah, I mean, if you don't follow us on Instagram, follow California Deck Pros. We love to chat with you guys. And then if you're ever at any of the shows, I mean, that's one cool thing about being in this industry is you get to know all the guys and get to go to NADRA and JLC Live and IBS and just Deck Expo and hang out,
Yeah, 100%. Now, you've dined with us before, right? With me and Calvin?
I've met Calvin before at IBS, and I listened to his terrific riff on the intro of the podcast.
Yeah, man. That's rocking. So, okay, cool. Because
finally someone knows.
Finally, hey, we're going to get your world known, dude. It's all coming. Yeah, it just takes like decades. Yeah. But
that's all.
That's all. So, okay, Blake, you got anything else for me, man? Or are we pretty good on the standard?
I mean, we can jump in there. Can we shout out some sponsors?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, cool. Let's just shout out Decorators because they've just really supported my company.
Yeah.
And I really like their product. So, I mean, there's a lot of good products out there, but I'm just happy with their team and helping me and happy with their product. So,
right on. Okay. Who do you use for railing?
I make a lot of my own railing, actually.
You do?
So, yeah, I mean, if it's a job where the customer's kind of on a budget, Decorators makes a really good, like, budget cable rail.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's really nice. It's not a budget. It's not super cheap by any means, but it's cheaper than me making you a custom stainless steel railing,
Mm-hmm.
So I have a fab shop, and we have a welding table, and we're actually looking to buy a laser welder right now.
Cool.
So we MIG weld a lot of custom stainless steel railings, and then I have a few buddies that have CNC shops. So, so like the one that at the job on the cliff over there, we welded all 304 stainless, 1/4 inch thick, 1x2. It did like kind of a horizontal rail, and then we had it epoxy coated. So, but
cool.
we have a lot of glass there too. So, we'll just buy our own brackets and buy glass. I used some IG rail as well, which I'm really happy with. I've been talking to our boys in Canada about getting some railing from them as well. So, I mean, we'll really use whatever the customer wants, but primarily down here, I think it's probably the same for you. It's like we're doing glass or cable. That's what we're doing. So.
Yeah, we just finished all 316 stainless cable rail, and it's all stainless posts, everything's stainless on it.
I saw that with the round top rail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the most expensive railing I've ever done.
Did a manufacturer make that?
Yes. AGS Stainless. We'll give them a little shout out as well. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, Blake, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for being on our podcast. We really appreciate you. It's great to get to know you a little bit. Yes. So, if you want more with Blake from California Deck Pros, consider sponsor. Consider what?
Consider joining our Patreon.
Thank you, Calvin.
$5 a month. You can get every bonus episode we've done with every guest.
Yeah, and if you pay $50 a month, you get all kinds of cool stuff. I can't tell you what it is, but Calvin, what is it? It's really cool stuff, man.
Speaking
Really
of that,
cool.
I don't know what guy flaked on you, but you've had some. I mean, you've had Dave on here. You had my good friend Mark King on here.
Yeah.
I mean, some really top-notch builders. You know?
Yeah, still working on the A list right now, you know?
He's
we
not
started
A-list?
today.
No, no, I'm saying I'm still working on it. I've only had A-list people on the show so far.
That's better.
That's what I meant. If they didn't come off that way, I apologize. But anyways, Calvin, hit that outro, man. Blake, thank you again. We really appreciate you, man. And like I said, stick around for Patreon if you guys want to hear that. You know what to do. Go subscribe to the channel. All right, guys, have a good one. Over and out.